with specialists in every area of orthopedic medicine. With a full range of orthopedic care, from physical therapy to complex surgical procedures. With a passion for helping you live life to the fullest. That's how we're leading in orthopedics. That's how Premier Health is leading with care.
The 2016 Flying to the Hoop Invitational, powered by SUVtv. Sponsored by DP&L. Stay safe and warm with Dayton Power and Light. Premier Health, offering a better healthcare experience for you. Marriott Dayton, the host hotel for the Flying to the Hoop Invitational. Sports Image, promotion, marketing, and management. Omnisphere, advanced web solutions. Alley Cat Design, covering everybody. Frickers, fun, food, and sports. And Pepsi, refresh your world.
And welcome back here to Jim Trent Arena. We get ready to bring you more 16th annual Flying to the Hoop action. This matchup is going to feature Northland High School and the Vikings taking on Greenville and the Green Wave. Just finished up a double overtime victory for Archbishop Alter as they were able to defeat Pickerington North. They're in the matchup. The backdoor cut by Isaiah Gamble, the assist by Giozzi gives us our first 2 points of the game as the Green Wave strike first. That was Seth Towns, number 31 for Northland, who had the ball there prior to passing it off. That shot's going to be off the mark by number 12, Jalen Stevens. It will stay with Northland. Three-point attempt. Good to go. That's Towns. Towns shooting that one from downtown Kettering, making it 3-2. Towns definitely a player to keep an eye on. I was going to tell you that, but prior to me making that introduction, I guess he wants to let his play speak for itself as he gets the first points on the board for the Vikings. A lot of dribbling going on there by number 23, Isaiah Gamble. Going to be called for the foul is Stevens. Stevens was doing a good job defending him. Gamble was doing a lot of dribbling, but he's got a little bit too overzealous. Got him with the body there, so the official made the call accordingly. 3-2 is your score. Giozzi step back jumper, good. Giozzi makes it 4-3. He's the captain of this Green Wave squad. Also, he's the conference's leading scorer, scoring 22.8 points a game. Showing off the mid-range game there. Towns sizes it up. Think that could be a nice one-on-one matchup. Obviously, they're here to play team ball and get the win, but I think there throughout the 4 quarters of this game, we're going to see a few times where those two exchange buckets back and forth. Picking up the pieces, working hard on the inside was Brandon Wall, making it 5-4 here early on. Like the energy that this game has come out with. The crowd here had to sit through a double overtime game prior to this one, so good to see Northland and Greenville giving nice energy to start this one. Good defense, better offense. As he had that drive attempt cut off. Did gamble, good defense, so no problem. I'll just step back, knock down the triple. Great start so far. That one's too strong off the back of the rim. Getting the rebound, but unable to keep his footing there was Peter Pandy. So it will be Northland's ball there out of bounds. It's going to be thrown in by Stevens. Jordan Kinchin gets his first points of the game with that triple. Take us to 7-8. Giozzi with it, guarded by Stevens. Second three-pointer of the game there for Isaiah Gamble. His name is listed as Gable in the roster book. Public address announcer referring to him as Gamble, so I guess you could say that's a scapegoat on my end if I'm not getting Isaiah's first name correctly, or his last name correctly, I should say. But so far, it's been a safe gamble for the Green Wave when he takes a three-pointer. As he's knocked down both of them, I'd say from outside as a whole, it's a safe bet when those guys hoist up a jump shot as Giozzi gets the triple. He's got 5 points on the game, 13-10, and we have a nice treat going on here with Northland versus Greenville. That one's going to be stripped away. Nice defense there by Gamble. Here's Towns defended by Giozzi. Good footwork. Nice defense, though, by Giozzi. First shot's no good, but Stevens in there in the painted area getting the offensive rebound. You see Towns with the shot, Stevens with the board. Hellman and lunch pail bucket inside. A lot of times that's the other way around with the smaller guard and the larger wing. Towns went for the steal, couldn't hold on to it. Quick hands there, Cookies. Hanging in the air, can't get the layup to go. That was Kinchin with the quick hands. He misses the shot, but he's got reinforcements there in the form of Seth Towns. This Vikings pressure trying to make things interesting for the Green Wave. Giozzi, a pretty cool customer, though he's trying to find a place to get it. Offensive rebound for the Green Wave, and it's going to be put in. That's Peter Pandy, the junior guard, makes it 15-14. Towns directing traffic, going right at Giozzi. Fall away jumper, no good on the shot. Giozzi has defended him well the past few possessions, making his shots tough to hit. Towns a player that can hit tough shots, but you at least want to make that a must-have. Make him hit a tough one. Coming into the game for Northland will be Jawan Weatherspoon, the sophomore guard. Wheeling dealing on the inside. That is Giozzi. So Giozzi gets that one to go. Let's take a look at some of what has him as one of the leading scorers there in the conference. You're going to see him drive hard, sets up the step back nicely. It's one thing to be able to knock down a mid-range jumper. It's another thing to be able to make a move like that to create the space. Giosi, a player to watch here at the Flyin to the hoop. Splashes that free throw. Makes it a 4-point game in favor of the Green Wave. Cover a lot of games. A lot of different events across the country. As Seth Towns knocks down that triple. His second one here in the first quarter. But see a lot of different mascots and logos, things of that nature. I gave the Urbana Hill Climbers kudos for their mascot, the cool little hill climber guy. It's a pretty nice logo, but the Green Wave, definitely a unique logo and a unique mascot as well. So kudos to the Greenville squad. I'm sure they just want to win this game. They could care less about my critique of their logo and mascot, but that's just fodder for the cannon. Getting it inside the town, showing it inside and outside, using that size to score that one. And he makes it 19-18. The Viking pressure continues. Can't leave that man open. He's already got 2 3-pointers. Maybe he didn't have enough of a hand in his face to knock down that third one. To do something with this wall. Wall gets the step. And he's going to be fouled there. I believe he's going to go against number 4 for Greenville, Trey Wood. So that's going to send Wood to the free throw line. Junior guard. Subbing in for Northland is going to be number 5, Gabe Towns. Coming in for Greenville is going to be number 3, Devin Hendricks. Greenville Green Wave coached by head coach Mike Bashori. On the Northland side, he's got John Taylor. It in successfully. There did Aaron Rich. Rich loses it out of bounds. Good luck, though, there for the Green Wave. I'm sure they'll hope for a different outcome. They're on the next opportunity. Jordan Kinchin will bring it across and set it up. Catch and shoot 3-pointer. Off to the left. Rebound brought down there by Trey Wood. Giosi uses the screen, stops, pops, and another one drops for Giosi. Makes it 21-19. Seth Towns. Because that's a good move. I respect you being the leading scorer and all, but get ready, young fella, because we're going to go at it. Let's take a look at it. You're just seeing iron sharpening iron throughout this game. I mentioned that would be something to watch. You're going to see the fake, the little stutter step, and the finish with authority. That's what good players do. They show respect by giving you their best shot game in, game out. And I think we're going to see blow for blow throughout this game when it comes to Towns and Giosi. Be Northland ball there along the baseline. That jumper short. Hendricks with it for Greenville. Calling for it. Giosi got a good look, can't get it to go. We will see if the Vikings can end the first quarter with a score. Looks like they will get the last shot as Coach Sean D. Taylor is calling for the last one. Towns sets the screen, turning the corner, stop, pull up, good. Number 10, Jordan Kinchin. Kinchin with a pension for nailing the mid-range jumper. And that is going to do it here for the first quarter. Appreciate you joining us. I don't have to tell you to go anywhere. Just let Seth Towns tell you that with this play. He and Giosi are going at it between the legs. Flying to the hoop. That's where we're at, right? Okay, it's time to play. Seth Towns with a nice splash. We will be back with the second quarter after this.
With specialists in every area of orthopedic medicine. With a full range of orthopedic care, from physical therapy to complex surgical procedures. With a passion for helping you live life to the fullest. That's how we're leading in orthopedics. That's how Premier Health is leading with care.
Back to the action as we are underway here in the second quarter. 21-24 is your score. Fall away jumper there along the baseline. Seth Towns going to town here in Kettering, Ohio at the Trent Arena. Off to a very good start as you see another bucket for Towns, the Harvard commit. So it's one thing to see Towns do what he does, and obviously his basketball talent speaks for itself, but that Harvard commitment showing you he's solid in the classroom as well. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that Giosi brings a ton of talent to the game as well as they continue to go back and forth, matching each other. Giosi scores. Towns comes right back and scores as well. We've had a good portion of instant classics here at the Flyin to the Hoop over the years. This one could end up playing out to be one as well. You look at some of the others. Wayne out of Ohio upsetting Findlay Prep, the then number one ranked team in the country at last year's Flyin to the Hoop in the final game. You see the fall away jumper knocked down there by Jalen Stevens. Also, La Lumiere versus Prolific Prep was a great game last night. La Lumiere had an awesome game against Huntington Prep last year in a very close one. That was one of the better games of last year's event. And the list can go on and on if we kind of look at the archives when it comes to this setting, this atmosphere, and the type of games that take place here at the Flyin to the Hoop. And I'd imagine that's how event director Eric Horseman drew it all up. Going to have 23 games over the course of 4 days. You better have some good ones lined up. And with the strong local contingent on top of those that travel in around the country to get here, I'd say mission accomplished. Working hard on the inside. Jalen Stevens playing a lot bigger than that 6'3" listed in the media program would suggest. Twists his body there on the reverse, misses it, goes up and gets it, finishes throughout the contact. Giosi hangs in and is able to finish on the inside. Coming right back on the other end, earning a trip to the free throw line, it will be number 2, Brandon Wall. So that's going to send Wall to the free throw line. Wall, 5'11" junior. Coming in for the Green Wave, number 35, Braden Russell. Aaron Rich is going to have a seat. Got a 9-point game in favor of Northland. Giozzi can't get the shot to go. Towns with the rebound. Towns telegraphed that pass. Giozzi able to get a hand on it. Look at the Northland Vikings. Some of the better alumni to come through the state of Ohio have come through Northland. In a state with a ton of talent. You look at Jared Sullinger, the current Boston Celtic, former Northland player. Trey Burke, also a former Northland Viking, currently with the Utah Jazz. That jumper is off the mark. Pass intended for Giozzi, getting his best safety impression on there is Jalen Stevens. Talked about Jared Sullinger. He was a member of the 2009 All-Tournament team here at Flyin to the Hoop, along with Avery Bradley, who was at Friendly Prep at the time. So those guys, two former Flyin to the Hoop participants, two current Boston Celtics. As we've got a timeout, we'll take one with them. Bring you more Flyin to the Hoop action when we get back.
Seconds inbound pass to Marbury as he works on the defense of Johnson, dribbles by Robinson, takes it to the baseline, running jump shot.
Back out of the timeout. Under the 5-minute mark here in the second quarter. Giozzi, nice job of protecting the ball, slicing and dicing through the defenders. And able to lay that one in. He gets the front end. Now he'll have a chance to go to the free throw line for the three-point play the hard way. We've seen him score from the outside in terms of the jumpers, but don't label Giozzi a one-trick pony. Goes between the legs, gets the move. You know you're going to run into a couple Vikings defenders. While they could have made it a little bit harder in terms of really stepping up to the plate, he still had to go through a gauntlet of about 3 or 4 defenders. Couldn't get the back end there of the three-point play, so he'll have to settle for the deuce on the front end, but he makes it a 7-point game with his most recent score. Towns wanted it on the block. Instead, it's going to be Stevens knocking down the triple from outside. Tough spot in the corner. Caught in no man's land in the air. There was Isaiah Gamble. Towns breaks it up. Goes past Giozzi. Sidesteps the defender and the easy lay-in. Not as easy as Seth Towns made it look, but that's what he's been doing all game. Here's a Green Wave three-pointer, too strong. Rebound going to be brought down there by number 5, Gabe Towns. Shot missed on the other end, but it's Kenshin following up, picking up the pieces, and now the Wave, the Green Wave just looking a little tired out there right now as Stevens is going to pick up a foul, and you'd like to see Stevens' energy, but I can think of at least 2 fouls that he's got here in this game that were just sort of unnecessary. When you look at a player with his type of energy, the way he defends, you want to be able to make your fouls count. Both of his fouls have been sort of instances to where he really didn't need to foul. He could have just kept moving his feet. He does a great job with his lateral movement. Great on-the-ball defender. And a player that Coach Sean D. Taylor will want to have on the floor as much as possible. You don't want foul trouble to be an issue. He'll sit after picking up his second foul. But he is a big reason why they have a 14-point advantage. Towns is obviously spearheading the effort on the offensive end. But Stevens doing a lot on both ends with his energy and ability to make plays for others. Gamble kicks it out. That's a good three-point look for the Green Wave. They can't get it to go, but working hard on the offensive glass, getting an opportunity at the line will be Aaron Rich. Foul going to be on Quentin Jones. Rich at the line. First one's good. Coach Sean D. Taylor there for Northland. Watching his Vikings with a 13-point advantage, but not resting on their laurels, trying to add to it. Giozzi and the Green Wave not done by any stretch. Under the 3-minute mark here in the second quarter. Jordan Kitchen with it up top, guarded by Hendricks. Seth Towns is actually getting a breather for Northland, well deserved. Cannot wait to see the official point total for him here in this first half. We've got a timeout there on the floor, 2:41 left in the second quarter. We'll take it with them and be back with more Flying to the Hoop action after this brief break. .241 remaining here in the second quarter. Coming out of the timeout. It'll be thrown in there by Kinchin for Northland. Ball's going to be stolen by Gamble. Now Hendricks will bring it across. Going for the steal there was Kinchin, but unable to do it without picking up the foul. Kinchin, very quick hands. You saw an instance there along the baseline in the first half where he was able to pick the pocket cleanly. They're called for the foul. That will send Hendricks to the free throw line. Hendricks, the 5'10" junior guard. That one's off the back of the rim. Back in is Seth Towns. He's going to play the final couple minutes here of this first half. We saw Maceo Teague. I believe he scored 51 points for Walnut Ridge in last year's Flying to the Hoop. I definitely think Seth Towns is capable of a 50-piece nugget here today. Not to say he's going for it. He's just kind of letting the game come to him as he and Giozzi go back and forth. Isaiah Gamble, he was going to try to get something out of that regardless. Tried to sell him there on the leg kick and the fall after the shot. Doesn't get the foul, but he does get the shot to go off the window. See, is the bank still open? It's Saturday, 1:59. Some stay open till noon. Most banks are closed, but it's still good to go for Gamble. Checking into the game for Northland, it'll be number 20, William Mumpham, as well as number 5, Gabe Towns. Giozzi with the ball. One thing that's been tough for Giozzi and what's been impressive about a good first half for him, even though they've still got some work to go, is Towns is up ahead. Towns might have gotten away with the travel there. They wanted it. They wanted that travel call badly, but instead it's going to be a flush for Towns. Towns giving a little bit of NBA treatment there on that one. Did look like he got away with a step. Isaiah Gamble says no worries. That spilled milk, can't focus on it. I'll just come back and get a triple. It's an 8-point game. Towns tries to get it right back. Off the mark. Gamble with the rebound. Gonna try back-to-back threes off the front of the rim. There for Gamble. Here's Towns knifing through 2 defenders. He misses. But it's Gabe Towns that follows up and makes it a 10-point game. Foul on the attempt there by Rich. Going to be another trip to the free throw line for him. 30 and 2/10 on the game clock. First free throw is good for Rich. We saw a back and forth game in Archbishop Alter versus Pickerington North, one in which each teams were able to kind of weather the storm brought on by the other squad. I think if you're the Green Wave, you want to stay within striking distance. Seth Towns has been great here in this first half, but Greenville still right here within striking distance, only down 8 points as they will regroup at the half. I think the pace has really favored Northland, even though the Green Wave can get up and down, relatively speaking. The quicker pace favors the Vikings. You saw fatigue play a factor at different parts throughout this first half. When you look at how up and down the game it went, look at Giozzi, the leading scorer here for Greenville, having to guard Seth Towns on one end and then coming on the other end and having to score against the likes of a Jalen Stevens, a Kinchin, or a Towns, depending on who drew that assignment each possession. But that's it's a tough trio to have to face on the defensive end. First free throw's good, 38 to 47. Second one off the front of the rim. Giozzi gonna try to get it. And that one is going to be short. We appreciate you joining us here on SUVtv. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll bring you the third quarter here live from Trent Arena.
With specialists in every area of orthopedic medicine. With a full range of orthopedic care, from physical therapy to complex surgical procedures. With a passion for helping you live life to the fullest. That's how we're leading in orthopedics. That's how Premier Health is leading with care.
moments away from getting the second half started here at James S. Trent Arena here in Kettering, Ohio. It is a 38-47 ball game. The Vikings of Northland leading as we get ready to get the third quarter started. It's been a great game so far for Seth Towns for Northland. He had 22 points there in the first half. A half in which the Vikings were able to shoot 52% in total field goals. They shot 5 of 9 from three-point land. So a very good first half offensively for Northland compared to 48% from the field goal range, and three-point attempts. They were 43.8%. Were the Greenville Green Wave there in the first half. So not too far behind Northland, but advantage definitely to the Vikings there in terms of shooting percentages. But with all that said and done, you have Greenville right there, still within striking distance, even though they had a bucket there on the offensive glass there by Quentin Jones to push the lead back to 11. Here's Aaron Rich, has that shot changed in the air. Towns comes away with it. He's guarded by Giozzi right now. Giozzi in the first half had 18 points, on top of having to try to guard and contend with Towns for the majority of that first half. You can understand how that might take a toll, having to be responsible for the lion's share of the scoring for your squad, on top of having to guard one of the better players in the state, the Harvard commit, Seth Towns. At the line now, it's be number 12, Jalen Stevens. Stevens can't get that first one to go. Isaiah Gabble had 14 points in the first half for the Green Wave, including going 4 of 7 from three-point land. Can definitely shoot it from three. They're going to need a few triples to fall from his hands here if they're able to pull this one out in the second half. Plenty of time left, obviously. 12-point game. We'll see a little bit of pressure extended by the Vikings. A lot of air under that pass. It's Quentin Jones. Plays the role of safety, comes over, steals that one. Towns wants it inside. They didn't like the angle, so now they get it to Kinchin. Towns, aggressive on the catch, goes, reverse, in. Seth Towns, a solid player, can shoot it, can put it on the floor. Dare really set that play up nicely. He was aggressive as soon as he caught the ball. That one high off the window for Hendricks. Devin Hendricks makes it a 12-point game. And one scored for number 2. That's Brandon Wall. As Wall got that one to bounce around and go down. Wall misses the free throw, but then they let Towns get the offensive rebound and lay it in. And if you're Greenville, you can't allow plays like that to happen. It's hard enough to stop Northland from scoring, but then you don't box out, get to the rebound on the free throw. Makes it even tougher as Rich scores on the other end. I know it's a lot easier to say keep Northland off of the offensive glass here from the broadcast booth as opposed to out there on the floor, but it's still a key to the game that Greenville is going to have to account for if head coach Mike Bashori's team is going to be able to come out with this victory. It's a 14-point deficit now. It looks like Devin Hendricks was a little shaken up for Greenville. Coach Bashiri was talking to the official, wanted a quick second to get Hendricks out of there. It looks like it might be a contact or an eye issue there for Hendricks, so he's getting squared away over there. There's Gabble. Good. So Gabble shooting 50% from three-point land. I mean, it's no secret. He and Giozzi are going to have strong second halves for them to come back and get this one. They combined for 32 points in the first half. Here's Giozzi, has a one-on-one matchup. Tough step-back jumper. Can't get it to go, and we're going to have a loose ball foul against the Green Wave. Foul against Braden Russell. It's the third team foul against Greenville. No team foul so far here in the third quarter for Northland. Nice defense. It's Pandy. Jose trying to turn the corner. Kinchin wasn't having it. Now they get it to Gabble. Gabble tried to kind of lull the defender to sleep a little bit, like he wasn't looking to shoot it. Quick release comes up short. Tough play right there. You saw Brandon Wall trying to weave through traffic. He had kind of split through the defense and had nothing but an acrobatic shot waiting on him. For Coach Bashori, you like to, take your chances on him hitting that shot versus sending him to the free throw line, picking up another team foul. And another personal foul on top of giving up some freebies at the line. I didn't think there was a foul on the play. The official thought otherwise. And we've got the second free throw coming here for Wall. Lead pushed to 13, and the pressure continues for Northland. Gabble kicks it over to Panley. Panley for three. Rebound tipped around Jones. Couldn't grab it cleanly. It was tipped right to Hendricks. Hendricks left the layup attempt short. Kinchin trying to use the Jones screen. That'll be a 2 if it goes. Yossi with the rebound. Now he's guarded by Towns. Hesitates, now goes. Gets the arm bar across the face, and that's going to send him to the line. Yossi averaging just under 23 points a game. Foul going to go against Quentin Jones. His second foul is, see the official, make sure Giozzi's okay. Giozzi is thinking, yeah, that shook me up a little bit. I'm good. I'm trying to figure out how to cut into this 13-point deficit. As we opened up the third quarter, it was a 9-point game. It's a 12-point advantage now. If you're the Green Wave, you'd like to be able to cut it, but Northland has done just enough to make sure it stays right at double digits. Greenville making sure it doesn't get to the high teens. Free throw good for Giozzi. Lead now 11. Towns makes it 14. Towns with three of 5 from three-point land in the first half, makes his first three-point attempt. Here in the third quarter, tough shot there by Rich. 2-on-1 break. Up to Towns. Towns will have to settle for the lay-in, as he had this Trent Arena crowd holding their breath. They were hoping to see another flush, instead having to settle for the layup, but it still counts as 2 points. Ball tipped, nice hustle by Gabble. He saves it successfully to Rich. Rich has that one blocked, and we're going to have a foul on the play. Rich at the line. Up top to 1. First free throw's no good. Gotta have the freebies if you're Greenville. Splitting the pair is Rich. You're gonna see Rich go to the bench. He'll have a seat. Braden Russell checks back in. Towns. Turnaround versus Russell is no good. Really baited Hendricks right into that pass. Get Brandon Wall, as he gets the easy lay-in. That one off the knee of Wall. And we're going to have a timeout. Not sure how the timeout was called with the ball still being loose like that, but a timeout called nonetheless. 30-second timeout. We'll take it with them. Appreciate you joining us here at the Flyin to the Hoop Invitational, the Gatorade Instant Replay. Towns is going to need his electrolytes after this one wraps up. He'll have to settle for the below-the-rim finish. Still having a great game as he approaches 30. We'll be back shortly. Out of the Greenville timeout. Final minute of the third quarter. Lead now 17. Now, you've seen the Northland scoring on the offensive end, but you have to give credit as Gabble with that step back along the baseline. Give credit to the Northland trio of number 10, Kinchin, who has the ball right now. Jalen Stevens, Brandon Waugh, as well as Seth Towns, who's been in on guarding Giosi as well. They have shown him multiple defenders that have really made it tough for the talented scorer Giosi to do what he likes to do for this Green Wave squad. Here's Towns. He's in one-on-one mode, and it's looking real cheat code-like out there right now. It's just looking way too easy for Seth Towns. Giosi shot would have been good if it had counted. And that's going to end the third quarter for us. Towns definitely brought his game to town here. Giosi, he's had to guard him this entire game. You see the crossover, 2 Green Wave defenders there waiting to help, but it doesn't matter. As Towns is a man with the plan here today. We will be back with the fourth quarter.
seconds inbound pass to Marbury. As he works on the defense of Johnson, dribbles by Robinson, takes it to the baseline, running jump shot, good! 2 seconds left.
The buzzer to go ahead and get this fourth quarter started has sounded. Northland in full control of this one as we get ready for the final increment. Towns gets it up top. Now he'll try another three-pointer. That one's off. Chases down the long rebound. Stevens kicks it back out to Kinchin, who will direct traffic there for Coach Sean Taylor's Northland squad. That one's good off the window. Just the pace and the collective speed with which Northland plays with, just an issue for Greenville. You look at Kinchin, you look at Wall, Towns, you look at just the legs of Northland. And it just looks like, Greenville has been playing an hour longer than those guys have, just in terms of the pep and the step. And the work that Greenville has had to put in just to stay within striking distance. Got off to a good start. But truly a battle of attrition as this game went on, being able to maintain that pace of back and forth with Northland, proving to be too much as Lee's now 21. Lead cut to 20 after that free throw. So as if Seth Towns wasn't enough, Gabe Towns getting in where he fits in as well. He gets the triple. Rich fills the short hop on the pass. Now get it over to Gabble. Gabble for three. Towns, touchdown pass ahead to Gabe. Seth Towns to Gabe Towns, and Gabe will head to the free throw line. Foul going to go against Aaron Rich. That will be his fourth. First free throw in and out. Foul going to go against Northland. See Coach Sean D. Taylor there. Won't say he's breathing easy because, coaches are going to coach until the 3 zeros are on the clock, but has to feel good about his team being in full control of this one and really just making sure they keep the edge. A lot of times you see games like this where it's out of hand and you can see teams, they won't develop, bad habits necessarily just in that short stretch, but you don't want to take your foot off the gas to the point where you affect your momentum going into the next game. Finishing strong is what the Vikings are looking to do. It's another bucket for Gabe Towns. This time it's the jump hook. Much to the pleasure of the older Seth Towns, who wants to be on the floor. Saw an exchange between he and Coach Taylor, and you see him rip that one and go and flush it with authority. Seth Towns picks the pocket. I was just talking about how he's still in go-getter mode. Like Taylor has sort of asked him if he wanted to come out, or they talked about it, and Towns kind of looked like, Coach, I'm good. Hanley knocks it down from three-point land. Towns for three now. That's good. Seth Towns. He's got 38. That one's poked away. We'll have a couple substitutions. Gonna see here Towns picks the pocket, and everybody knows, they saw an alley-oop a few minutes ago where he just had to lay it in. The pass was a little low. Everybody knew what time it was there. Seth Towns with the above-the-rim finish. Towns looking to pick another pocket. He'll be called for the foul, though, on this one. The officials whistle him for the foul. Gabble that one off the front of the rim. Gabble, a solid shooter. Still shooting about 40+% from three-point line, even though he's missed his last couple. Gabe Towns. Fouled on the play. He will go to the line for more free throws. Foul going to go against Hendricks. Towns good on the first free throw. Second one off the back of the rim. Towns goes for the steal, doesn't get it. Gabble sidesteps, can't get the shot to go. Ball thrown ahead. Towns with another flush. Good day to be Seth Towns here in Kettering, Ohio, as he's holding it down for the Buckeye State, and he's got a 40-piece. Talked about Maceo Teague, 51 points is the tournament record. And I wonder if Seth Towns is going for it. But at this point, he's not sacrificing the team game to be able to score individually. He's been getting his points within the offense. But he's going to have a seat, so he might not get to the 50, but Coach Sean D. Taylor is fine with letting him have a seat as he gets a standing ovation. Not a standing ovation, but a good amount of applause from the crowd here on site. A very basketball-savvy crowd here at the Flyin to the Hoop. A lot of the people applauding aren't here for Northland or Greenville necessarily. They're just here to see good basketball, and they are applauding the game played by Seth Towns. Real recognizing real here at Trent Arena. A real event, real audience, as well as real talent on the floor. That's what you get here each year at the 14th annual Flyin to the Hoop Invitational. Hendricks headed to the free throw line for the 1-and-1. Good on the first. That play Little help to Skelter there on behalf of the Vikings. The handle was lost initially. It was Jones there to pick up the pieces. He kind of got turned around on the shot, but they're still scrambling, still playing. They're not playing defense or running the floor like they're up by close to 30. Still playing hard. Come out wide on your shot. We're going to use.
Andrew Breckenridge with the foul. His second. Team's 8. Yosi to the line with a 1-1.
Yosi good on the first free throw. Yosi scoring his 23rd point of the night. Jones kicks that jump shot up and in. That jump shot by Jones. I haven't seen a ton of Jones play, but that was one of those, up by almost 30 jump shots. Coach can't have too many qualms about you kind of taking that one. You're up by 30, you hustle, play it strong inside as a player like Jones does. That's okay. Yosi still playing hard inside. Another trip to the line. He's got the front end already. Can get the three-point play the hard way. He's got 25 points now. Wouldn't be surprised if he finishes with 30 at least. Going down swinging. Free throw's good. Stepping into that one like he's been waiting to pull that one out. It's number 1, Andrew Breckenridge. Rich stops, gathers. That's Breckenridge. Fly by, can't get the shot to go though. Breckenridge, the alley. They got the alley, couldn't get the oop. But Jones working hard, trying to follow it up. And we're going to have a jump ball. Aaron Rich subbing out for Greenville. Under a minute to go. Foul on the play. I believe it's going to go against Gabble. Correction, going to go against Kelly. Gabble was the one who was fouled. Foul going to go against Kelly. Be sure to stick with us after this game. The 3:15 p.m. game will be between Baltimore Polytech and Chaminade Julian. Yosi still in attack mode. out on the play as he's done a great job of getting to the line over the past few minutes. I'm sure he might be thinking, man, if I could have done this a lot earlier in terms of getting to the line, maybe slowing down some of this momentum and scoring, we would have been in a better position. But that's just trying to figure out ways you could have adjusted and won the game. Definitely not a slight to the way he's played it. 18 points in the first half. On top of having to guard Seth Towns for the majority of the game, just not an easy task, even for a good scorer and all-around player in Giozzi. If he doesn't score again, he'll finish with 27 points in this one. As the officials making sure we here on site and you all at home know that their whistles do work. They're on that one. And so that is going to do it. It is a 63-87 victory here for the Northland Vikings. We appreciate you joining us here on SUVtv. Don't go anywhere. More Flying to the Hoop action taking off after this